Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Joyce Danger, and I wanted to take you back a little bit today, just thinking back when you were a brand new consultant and you maybe had some Mary Kay dreams. And I know I remember having the pink pillow test, and you're thinking about Mary Kay, and you're not sure if you should get started in something like this. And I remember having what we call the pink, like you have a pink pillow test, and you go to bed at night and you're thinking about Mary Kay and dreaming about Mary Kay, and that's how you know if you should give it a try because the next day it's just kind of been on your mind. And I think that a dream is not something that you wake up from, but it's something that you wake up, that wakes you up. And so sometimes we need to take ourselves back to those dreams and reconnect with that and find what you really want for your life. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today is um, some of the reasons that you maybe started Mary Kay and the reasons that you have the dream that's inside of you and what you really want to do. Some people have thousands of reasons why they can't do something, but what we need to do is find that one reason that trumps all the rest of them, the reason that says, I really need to and I really can and I really should and I really want to make this happen for me, for my family, for my life, and for my future, and not let all the ditzy little stuff that happens in the meantime get the best of us. Sometimes I don't know if you ever feel like this, but if that I feel like sometimes that your life is in the hands of like a duck shuffler, and that when you think you got all your ducks in a row, then they come around and they rearrange everything for you, and so all of a sudden that your ducks aren't in a row anymore. So I felt that way when I worked for other people, and that it seemed like that it just never was working out for me, and so I was frustrated with having other people being in control or in charge of my future. And I'd been through that, in job one and in job two, and pretty soon it was kind of like, if you heard of deja vu, where you have this stinking feeling like you've stepped in this before. And I just got tired of that. And um, I felt like I needed to have helium balloons to pick me back up again, and I just didn't want to live that way anymore. And it kind of takes me back to when I was a little girl, and I'm sure you guys have never said this, but I remember uttering the first words the first time I said, "You're not the boss over me," and I wanted to do what I wanted to do and say what I wanted to say, and I didn't want somebody else telling me what to do. And I remember the first time I said that to my husband, and he just kind of was shocked that I wasn't going to have him telling me what to do either. So if you're one of those people who like to call the shots and like to be doing what you want to do, and I like working here in my office and being able to, do what you want to do when you want to do it, then this business gives us those choices. And if you do what you need to do when you need to do it, you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. So I wanted to make my own decision, and I'm the best boss that I've ever had. So we make the choices, though, and we make them minute by minute, day by day, week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter, year by year, decade by decade, and each of those little bitty choices becomes our life and becomes our future and our destiny. And Mary Kay gives us a path to run on. So right now it's the end of a quarter, and the choices that we made over this past quarter determine where we're at right now. The choices that we're making in the new quarter will determine where we go throughout this new quarter. So if we follow Mary Kay's guidelines, it will help us through. She's broke the year down for us so that it doesn't have to be this huge big bite, because sometimes those huge big bites get to be something bigger than what we can visualize. So I find that it's helpful to have the little things. So it's sometimes it's a vehicle. Mary Kay is like a vehicle to incredible income. It's a vehicle to build self-confidence for ourselves, for the people around us. It's like a bridge, so it can take us anywhere that we want to go. It opens doors for us and for our family, for a future, for a different lifestyle. It maybe opens a door to a different neighborhood that you might like to live in, or to a different schools for your children, or just different experiences that you can have based on the choices that you get. So, how do we get there? And generally speaking, if I'm trying to get someplace, I take one of these. You have one of these in your car, and I can't imagine trying to get anywhere now how I ever did it without one of these things. It's a Garmin, and I use this one, and I have one attached into my car, and I have the one on my phone. And between the three of them, I generally get where I need to go without too much stopping in between, or getting lost along the way. But you type in where you want to go. So on Mary Kay, it's the same thing. We type in where we want to go, or we figure out, decide where you want to go and set your, compass, so to speak, in that direction. and then aim for it. Now, it doesn't mean that you're always going to hit it every single time. I mean, I type this in, but this doesn't seem to know when there's road construction, and it doesn't know where the accidents are necessarily. I mean, I suppose if I had the newest maps in it, maybe that would know that, but I don't go back home because something didn't work out right. I just find an alternative route, and the lady in here, she says recalculating and recalculating and recalculating, and she recalculates a lot, and sometimes I think she gets a little irritated, but she still says it in the same voice, and we still love her anyway. She just keeps on recalculating, and that's kind of how our Mary Kay journey goes, and our life journey goes, is that we just recalculate when things don't work out the way that we want them to work out, and that doesn't mean that we quit or that we give up or start over. We just find another way. In the new quarter, I find that if I just do $300 in weekly sales, that I will for sure be a Sapphire Star consultant and take my full profit. So I just kind of have as a milestone each week that I want to make sure at least I sell 300 minimum. 400 will bring you a ruby, 500 brings you to diamonds, 600 to emerald, so that if you just know, if I look at it each week, then it doesn't get so big, and then at the end of the quarter, all of a sudden you're paying catch up because you didn't do what you needed to do along the way. Now, sometimes, yeah, you might have to do a little catch up, but I try to do it each week, or if you want to break it down per day, however you need to do it so that it works for you. But consistency in daily and weekly activity is going to give you consistency in a business, strong customer base, and more choices for your future. And star consultants, they always say stars win cars, and cars lead to directorship, or directorship leads to cars, and you can choose which way you want to do it. I was at a director meeting the other day, and we were talking about how back in the olden days you had to earn a car first, and before you could become a director. Now you can pick and choose whichever way you want to do it, but Mary Kay gives you those options. And as you move up, you can become a sales director, and then sales directors can choose to be seniors, and senior directors can choose to be future executives, and we move up as you choose to do, as much or as little as you want to do. But that's where the personal freedom comes in. That's where the financial freedom comes in, and the choices that you make. The GPS gives you that direction that we want to take, and Mary Kay has that direction all figured out for us. We just have to trust the process. Just like in the GPS on mine, I can't see, once I type that address in, it tells me which is my next turn and what road I'm on now, but I can't see all the way to the end. I can only see to the next turn and how far away that one is. I just have to trust that it will take me there. And I know the Mary Kay path has worked for many, many others before me, and I have to trust that if I do the process, then it'll work. Now, if I try to cut corners, then it's not going to work. So if you're trying to skirt around things, it's just, it doesn't work. So know that you have to do the process. How many career conversations do you need to do to get a team member? How many selling appointments do you need to do to sell a certain amount of products? There's numbers involved, and you can work with your director as far as figuring out what those numbers are for you. But we are going to stay on the road to get where we want to go, and we're going to stay on the Mary Kay path to get where we want to go. And that our choices that we do each day, they lead to the legacy that we leave in our future, in our Mary Kay world, and also in our personal world. That the people that look up to us, it's our family watching what we do, our kids watching what we do, the other people in our Mary Kay circle, the people at your sales meeting. You never know whose story you're holding in your hands, and who's watching you and the choices that you make, and who's saying, geez, if she can't do it, how could I possibly do it? That there are people who we do admire and look up to, and that it's important that we work up to the ability that we've been given. We talk to our kids and say, geez, little Johnny's not working up to his ability. Well, are we doing everything that we can do and working up to the best of our ability? That the choices that we make ultimately lead to how we're going to live our life. Are you going to where do you want to live? What kind of neighborhood do you want to live in? What kind of house do you want to live in? What choices would you like to have? And what is your house going to look like? Are you going to wait until life gives you an expiration date? Sometimes people do that, and all of a sudden, they're at the end and they haven't sang their song and they haven't done the things they wanted to do. And I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person who's, coming in, at the end saying, I've lived it. I've done everything I wanted to do, and I've had a great life, and I'm very happy for that. Part of your story is the obstacles that you're going to have along the way, and we all have them. So we need to just make those obstacles part of our platform, and that, it would be nice if all the lights were green, between here and where you're trying to go, but life isn't like that. And so if you're going to wait until after the whatever, there's always going to be a whatever. We've seen that if you ever tried to book an appointment that, the lady wants to wait until after, wait until after graduation, wait until after kids get out of school, wait until the kids go back to school, wait until after the holidays, wait until after, it never ends. So we have to continue to do stuff, or we'd always be waiting till after something. So we need to start small. If we can handle the little things, we'll be able to handle the big things, and that God isn't going to give us the big stuff until we prove that we can handle the little stuff. And the cool thing about the big things is that when you start doing the big things, it's not going to seem like big things because you've been doing all the little things all along the way. So like when you become a sales director, for example, I remember thinking, oh, that was going to be so hard. And by the time you get there, if you've been through DIQ, you've done the work, you know how to do it, you have worked with the team, you've got the team, you know these ladies, and you just keep doing what you did to get there, and it's not any harder. It's actually easier once you get there than it is to get there. And that's the whole Mary Kay plan is like that, is that it's easier to maintain whatever it is than it is to get there. The key is that you just don't stop. So like once you get into your red jacket, for example, you don't stop working and then say, oh, geez, somebody didn't stay active. You have to keep working and keep building your team and not expecting other people to do it for you. So in closing, I just wanted to share some thoughts from Oprah. I have great admiration and respect for her. And she says that you're not the product of your circumstances. You are a composite of all the things that you believe in and all the places you believe you can go. Your past does not define you. You can step out of your history and create a new day for yourself. Even if the entire culture is saying you can't, even if every single possible bad thing that can happen happens to you, does, you can still keep going forward. So you decide, are you going to allow someone else to be the author of your story, or are you going to take charge and write your own success story? And only you can decide, or as I would say, you're not the boss over me. So have a wonderful day, and enjoy as we close out this seminar year and start the new seminar year. This is the time to decide and to get the ball rolling and make sure that you live the life that you want. Thanks.